Morning. It's just after 6 on day 11. My first juice here. I probably got about half a litre. It was 4 carrots, 2 apples and a pear went into that. So just lunch you. See you in a bit. I've got a gym today. It's Thursday with Jose at 2:30. And for the rest of the day I'm just going to be working away in the office. So see you in a bit. I just wanted to mention one of the responses that I got from the video. Juice Reboot 7, the discomfort will pass. This is on the forum in the mastermind group, so I won't mention the name because this is going out onto YouTube as well. So I watched the Fat, Sick and Nearly Dead video you mentioned in your juicing. It's funny, we're both starting at about 300 pounds. You never mentioned in the video, and so far I haven't seen mentioned in yours exactly how many doses of the mean green juice you're drinking per day. Assuming just using one juice, probably mix it up a little. I'm using, I think I'm going one most of the time. I tried to go 2 and I'm going to try and go 2 a lot of the time as well. I just really like it, and it gives me sort of the good bits of nutrition that I think is. He's talking about, Joe Cross talks about doing a 70-30 split, so 70 vegetables and 30 fruits, and I think the mean green hits that. So if there was one that I'd go for more than any other, it would be the mean green, because it's got a lot of greens in it, plus it's got it is mean green. But he also talks about trying to hit as many different colours in your juicing as possible, you know, hence the beetroots and you know, tomatoes, and try and do some yellow peppers and stuff like that, you know, which yeah, I'm going to try and do more of that. So he goes on to say it's like a big glass in the morning and one at night. Probably, yeah. I mean, if I could do that, I'd do that. Like I said this morning, I'm still on this one. I've still got a little bit left of the apple and pear, but that was sort of 50-50, so it was about 50% carrots and 50% fruit with the apple and the pears. At this stage with the intermittent fasting, I can go until 3 PM without feeling hungry. Granted, haven't started juicing yet, but can you throw some amounts out there volume wise about how much and how often you're chugging the magic down? I think I'm probably doing, with this new juicer, I'm doing maybe 3.5 litres a day, and I'm starting earlier now. I mean, I had my first juice this morning at 6 o'clock, so I'm hungry in the morning, and I'm feeling grumpy. That's why I'm drinking it. It's because I'm feeling a bit weaker, you know. If I was eating a normal diet, I can go normally until maybe 10 o'clock, but hey, look, at the end of the day, one of the things that I was doing before, which always impacted my weight, was I wasn't exercising properly. I was going out and walking, but I think once you get used to doing walking, it's like if you go to the gym and do the same machines over and over and over again, the effectiveness of those machines starts to diminish. So you have to change things up every so often because your body just gets used to it. So you've got to completely consistently challenge your body to do different things. So for me, you know, a lot of the stuff that I've been doing all along has been about trying to avoid the things that I know I have to do, right, which is put in an effort, right? It's easy for the food to go in, we all know that. It's, you know, if you had a if you want to get 200-300 pounds, I mean, I've nearly been there. It's easy to do that, you know, you just sit down and eat what you want and drink what you want, and that's it. It's not so easy to get it off. You know, when you look at, when you're on the treadmill or on the cross trainer or the any of those machines in the gym that give you a read back of how many calories you're burning, or if you know, get some other calorie form of, you know, some reading that's going to give you the calories, you realize just how much effort you've got to put in order to lose a small amount of calories, you know what I mean? So you could be running half an hour on the treadmill and only lose sort of 200, 250 calories, depending on how fast you're running, how slow you're running. And 3,500 calories is a pound in weight. So you've got to go on that treadmill for what, 15 times in order to lose that, 15 times running a half an hour to lose that 1 pound in weight. How easy is it to put on that pound of weight, you know? So, you know, we're talking about this kind of stuff with intermittent fasting or this juicing and stuff like that. This is not going to work on its own. You know, with the juicing, you're going to lose weight, right? You're going to lose weight. If I know I'm going to lose weight after 30 days on this. How much? I think between 20, 25 pounds, roughly on average. But because I'm doing strength training now, I don't know whether that's I'm going to hit that goal, right? I don't know whether the muscle is going to put on weight. You know, I'll only know at the end. At the end of the day, for me, this is all about trying to reset things, you know, to get things back to where they were years ago. You know, I'm all the time trying to experiment with things and trying to move forwards. As I said earlier on, you know, sometimes it's frustrating with what you're doing because, you know, not every experiment that you do is going to yield results. You know, sometimes you'll go through a lot of experimentation without yielding the results that you want. And just because it worked for somebody else doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. Going through this 30-day juice rebooting is only one period, and a lot depends on not just on what you do now during this period, but what you do afterwards. That's going to be the key to me, and I've got to start figuring out what I'm going to do afterwards. Going to the gym is a big thing, right? And keeping that, keep doing that repetitively and going, you know, consistently to the gym, because we need exercise. You know, we're made to move. You know, as soon as you sit down, especially in this world with the food that, you know, some people are eating, you're going to put on weight. You know, this is why there is chronic obesity in our societies, is because people don't get that thing. There's a balance between many different things in your life, whether that's between you know, work and play, whether it's between exercising and you know, resting, whether it's between eating nutritious food and eating junk food. There is always a balance, you know. So that balance is hard to find. It's difficult to find, and you're only ever going to find that on a personal level, because each one of those balances is going to be different, and each one affects the other one, if you know what I mean. So you can hear them little buggers. The mommy's in with them now. Oh, she's going on Monday. So today's Thursday, and she's going on Monday. She's being picked up by her new owner from the pet shop where Esther's working. So Esther's going to take her on Monday morning, and the other pups are going to be here on their own. So I don't know how she's going to react to that, how the pups are going to react to that. I'm sure they'll both miss each other for a while. Yeah, so that's it really. I'll speak to you in a while anyway when I do my next juice. I'm well into the second juice of my day now. This is the Mean Green. There's half a lime in this instead of the orange this time, and just all the regular stuff, except there's kale now instead of spinach, so it's very nice. I'm dying to get out walking now. I haven't been out walking in a while, just with the gym and with getting the puppies and everything to do with this thing. So tomorrow morning I'm going to the gym early, and I get to the gym by 7, and then finish that off, and then go down and record the Q&A. So I'm looking forward to that, just getting out and up into the hills for a while. Just finished with the gym. That was a tough one. Yeah, it was a tough one. And he's changed my whole system for next week now, so I was getting used to the last system, and now he's done it again. But I came out of there again feeling really good, even though it was tough. So this is working, you know. It's not. It was my biggest fear when I started out on this juice reboot, was that I just wouldn't be able to do it. You know, that I wouldn't be able to carry on with the gym, because I seem to remember before when I was doing it that I I was walking, but I felt I had weaknesses and stuff like that. But I think that was only in the first few days. Now I'm not getting any of that. So yeah, it's really good. I haven't got my juice yet. I've got my cup of tea. So I'm drinking this. This one is called a Rosa. I think it's strawberry. I'll tell you what it is now. I've got the little thing here. It's from Horniman's and it's called Rosa Mosqueta. It's very nice too. 100% natural. Nice tea. 5 to 6 minutes. Yeah, so really good. Back to the gym tomorrow morning and out walking for the first time in ages. So I'm going to do that. Do a couple of videos when I'm out as well. Do the Q&A tomorrow. So I'll speak to you in a bit when I do my next juice. So here we are on day 11. I wanted to talk about today was just feeling sorry for yourself, you know, just going through the motions of thinking that either you're missing out on something or why is this happening to you? Why are other people allowed to do stuff and you're not allowed to do it? You deserve it and all that kind of crap, you know what I mean? It's stuff that we all do to a certain degree, but it's kind of thinking that is only going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt anyone else, right? It might annoy other people, right? But it's not directly hurting them. It's like any negative thinking, you know, it's a type of thing that can spiral out of control. You know, one negative thought leads to another negative thought, leads to another and another, and before you know it, you're in this negative spiral. It's the same kind of thing as positive thinking, you know, one positive thought leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, you know. Like I say, there's no point to any of this sort of stuff. Fear of missing out is something which, from my perspective, means that you haven't fully come to terms with exactly where you are. You know, whether that's quitting drinking alcohol or smoking or doing something like that, which is long term, or doing something short term, right? You have to look at these things as the reason why you started out from. You know, if you're starting out from this solely for the purpose of getting rid of the pain, right? The pain that you had before quit day, right? Then once that pain is gone, which it, you know, in most cases won't be very long, you know, you quit drinking, quit smoking, right? You know, the pain and the discomfort, the initial pain that you felt, you know, maybe that's been building up for years, right? Most of us is building up for years. And then after you step across that line, you've got that initial discomfort, whether that's a week or 4 weeks or 2 months, right? You've got this initial period of discomfort where you feel like you're, you know, just feel shit, you know. And again, that's a relative sort of period of time. For some people, it's going to last only a short period of time. For some people, the discomfort levels are going to be low. And it all comes down to what you're doing up here, what you're saying to yourself up here. The more shit you say to yourself about the negativity, then, you know, obviously the more you're building yourself up, the more you tense you're getting, the more, you know, it all affects each other, you know. So, you know, when you're talking about a long-term thing like quitting drinking alcohol, quitting smoking, deciding to lose weight and keep it off, you know, these are some of the best decisions that you're ever going to make. And you're talking about short-term pain, short-term discomfort in order to get to that long-term gain, you know, to that long-term happiness, to be the person that you want. You know, you might never get to that ultimate person that you ultimately want to get to, but it's the journey to get there. That's the part of it. That's the wonderful part of it, right? That's where you're going to be. That's where all the joy comes from, right? So you have to look at these things as, you know, even if it's only a short-term change, right? You've got this thing where, you know, it's only going to be for 30 days, right? You know, once that 30 days is gone over, then you can go back to whatever it is that you were doing before. So in my case, 30 days of doing the juice fast, juice reboot I like to call it, because it's not really a fast. And once you get over that initial 30 days, right, then you go back to where I was before, you know. So, but I'm not going back. You know, I tried to get rid of this because I want to get rid of the salt. I tried to go through this because I wanted to try and reset some of the things that were going on in my body, you know. And once I get to that next level, then I'm sort of taking myself up a notch in order to go and train at the gym, right? And to live my life, basically. I mean, the gym is only taking an hour and a half, 5 days a week, right? And it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make because it has so many different repercussions for the rest of my life, right? Go to the gym early, get a good breakfast in. Guaranteed, right, I'm going to have a much better day than if I didn't go to the gym, right, and I didn't get that good breakfast in, right? And that is an accumulation of things. It's the same way if you're smoking or you're drinking. You know, all those little days of you smoking, all those times when you smoke or you drink, these all accumulate up into a big problem, right? You know, having a negative frame of mind, it's not just because of one thing happening to you, it's because of a lot of different things that have happened to you. I mean, look at before, look at after, start comparing the two. You know, so look at why you started this out in the first place. What were the reasons why you started this out, you know? You really need to prepare in order to get these reasons firmly embedded into your brain, because if you don't, when you start feeling sorry for yourself, or when you start having a negative frame of mind, if you start having negative thoughts, then it's very difficult to go back and to sort of then figure out why you're doing it. You know, like I say, it has to be, for me, it's all about forward thinking. So it's about looking at the future and seeing where I want to go next, right? And then where I want to go after that, right? And it's that journey to get to that place, right? It's not about getting to that place, although that's part of the journey. It's like stepping up and then stepping up and stepping up and stepping up. And fuck the outside world, right? It's not for that. It's for you, right? It's for your mind. It's for your contentment, you know, for your future contentment with yourself, right? We're all getting old and we're all heading down a specific path that has only got one destination at the end of the day, right? And we're all on that journey. That's the beauty of life in itself, is you can't look around yourself, right, and look at anybody else out there within your own inner circle, within your own network of friends, within the wider world in general, right? Anybody who's alive, right? Any living thing that is alive is going through this cycle, same thing that you're going through. What matters is what you do with that, right? And how you can sort of level up with your own self. That's in my opinion. So I think feeling sorry for yourself, it's not going to get you anywhere, right? All it's going to do is bring you back down a little bit. So I'll speak to you in a bit. I've got my water for today, and talk to you later. Take care. Bye. That's it. That's the last juice done and dusted. This one it's a bit of a mix between fruit and vegetables, so there's a lot of green stuff in there. There's some bok choy, there's spinach, there's a couple of carrots, there's a pepino, there's about a quarter of a pineapple in there, a pear and an apple. So I'm going to carry on and drink this now and get to bed. It's about 6:30, I think, like that. So it's just starting to get dark. It's a nice day today, really nice sunny day. Good day at the gym, good day all around. So yeah, I'm going to do this and then watch a bit of Netflix, light the fire and get to bed early. Speak to you tomorrow anyway. Day 11 done and dusted. Take care. Bye now.
Bye.